Oh, my word. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. How the heck are you? We've been having some really, really bad YouTube issues. And I just moved everything over to StreamYard. I'm waiting for everybody to come on. And hi, Kate. How you doing?
All right. I've definitely been worse. How about you?
I'll tell you after I have a stiff drink. Everything was started up, and it wouldn't let me start.
Yeah, that's bad.
So yeah, here we are on StreamYard, and what I don't like about StreamYard is that, as Purple Rhymes with Oranges mentioned, they are starting to restrict the number of hours you can broadcast.
Really?
Yeah, he says 20 hours a month
That's fucked up. What possible reason could they have for justifying that crap?
to charge you to get
Oh,
more hours.
of
Yeah.
course.
hmm Now that
And
that is
well, the thing I hate about StreamYard is that horrible mallard logo. It just wigs me out for some reason.
yes, indeed. Oh my, it's okay. Let's make sure we're getting there. Okay, yeah, we're gonna paste this in there. Okay, no, we're all set. And yeah, okay, yeah. The whole it's driving me crazy, and my blood pressure may be visible on the screen right now, but other than that, it's okay. What are you gonna do? Um, so where are we here? Okay. So what I want is YouTube. I want to see who's starting to come into the. Here we go. Oh my! Oh my! Okay. So I've got four people in here already. Hi everybody. Yeah, YouTube's causing problems. Um, Momnado, Tornado. If you will check your Discord, well, Mom NATO, check your Discord. You should see a link in there, and we'll see who else is going where and everything else. I see that Jen Morgan is over on the side there. Let's get her in here. And where am I here? I can't figure out where I am. Oh, there we are. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, no, 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 no. GR. No.
Well,
There we
internet.
go. There we go. Now we got it. Hello. Oh, God. Yeah. Anyway, where you? What's up?
Oh, not a lot. Just trying like heck to wake up. I woke up earlier than I intended, and I don't care for it.
Okay, then.
Mind
Um,
you, there was a time when I would sleep almost through the first hour of this show, so perhaps it works out.
well, my show must be extremely interesting then, huh?
Well, either that or I have a very hungry kitty who does not have
meow,
any concept of letting people sleep in.
meow, 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 meow.
Yeah.
Oh my! Wait a minute. I have to see where we are here. Okay. Oh yeah, Mom NATO. Yeah, I threw a new link into Discord. Do you have it? And then, oh, I like that from Purple. You know what really sucks? Wake up with a hangover when you haven't been drinking. Yeah. Oh my! But yeah, we came here originally to discuss holiday traditions, past, present, and future. And yeah, when we get some people around here, and then I know you're here already, Kate. You are a people. You most certainly are.
Someday I hope to be two of them.
Okay then.
But well, I mean, okay, I live in San Diego, and except for that one dude ringing the freaking Salvation Army bell outside the supermarket, like you wouldn't know it's Christmas here.
You know, it doesn't sound all that bad. It sounds kind of nice. I mean, okay, you guys haven't seen it yet. Here, this is my Christmas. Oh, and I knocked out my headphones again. Oh, for the love of Saint Gulick. Yes, so I'm definitely the bah humbug type here.
Well, like I was saying before the show started, I have this one song that's been stuck in my head that's Christmas related, and it won't be evicted. It's a very well played song, but I'm sick to death of hearing it.
Okay, which one would that be?
Wreck the Malls.
Ah, okay, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it's like Wreck the Malls this Christmas season. For la, 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 blow your cash for no good reason. For push your charge card to the limit. For yeah, so that has been stuck in my head for a while. But the way they play it as rock, and it actually really appeals to me stylistically. But
oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I see what's going on here. At least I think I know what's going on here. Where are we? Where's okay, here's this. Where's the invite? Okay, we're going to copy to the clipboard. Oh, for the love of Saint Gulick. But now I've heard so many people say that they find the religious Christmas music depressing.
yes, it seems almost universally in a minor key.
Okay, one I really, really do like. I have to admit it. I mean, the lyrics suck, but the melody is really nice. It's in D flat major. It's called "Oh Holy Night."
I know the song. It's so slow.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the nice, slow, serene, sedate. That's me.
One that really actually creeps me out is Carol of the Bells. It sounds like the opening credits to a Tim Burton movie.
Oh my. Okay, there we go. Momnado, Tornado. Now you've got a link. That should get you in. Oh Lord.
It's really unpleasant. And then what's the one I'm thinking of? Come rest ye merry gentlemen or some shit.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, everybody always gets that one. They never get it. It's not God rest ye merry gentlemen. It's God rest ye merry gentlemen.
Okay.
There is a in other words, rest well.
Okay.
Yeah, that sort of thing. But
well, all I can hear in my head though when that one's going is the restroom door said gentlemen, so I just walked inside. Yeah. All I can hear in my head. It's kind of like how there's certain songs where I don't know the real lyrics. I only know the Weird Al version.
I'm Momnado.
Despite having heard it many times, I think we're alone now. In my head is I think I'm a clone now. Can't help it. Nothing I can do about it. So, and it's the same with Christmas songs. There's a lot of Christmas songs where I only know the Bob Rivers version.
Can y'all hear me?
No.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Okay, you just said the magic words. You said the magic words.
You can hear me now. Okay, good.
Let's see here. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. I know.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Right.
Yes, but God, that one, to the House of the Rising Sun. It's beautiful, even though I can't sing worth shit.
I will be right back.
Oh man, I drove her off.
Now let's see if I can get this.
After Oh, boy, moi.
Okay,
It's been one of
there.
those days.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I did, Jen. Oh God. Oh Lord.
So
Okay.
I don't see it. I was trying to get a Santa hat that I know I own, but I don't know where it is.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. Okay, Jen, there it is. I finally got it all straightened out. Oh God. Yeah,
Yes,
this
it
has been one
is.
of those.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to show my frustration on air. I know I'm not. It's not professional. But damn, this thing's been doing this to me since 9 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
And I usually think that I'm in good shape if I'm getting things ready at 9:30, something like that.
Right.
No. YouTube doesn't like that sort of thing. Yeah. Oh my.
Not
And
today.
no, not at all. Not at all. And
Now
I'm
I
in
have
Lestam.
sent the link to Tornado.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's- Yeah, no, we're talking Christmas traditions, right?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Lost, gained, or
you
anything
know,
else, replacements.
traditions. The holiday traditions for us started Thanksgiving. This year we had
Okay.
14 people. 14 people at dinner.
Oh, that was standard procedure at Bobka's.
Right, but that's not standard at my house. Normally it's 5 or 6 people, This
Okay.
is since we moved to Florida, we have doubled that amount of people that we have every year.
Yeah, yeah, which is always
And
double the craziness.
oh yes. Hold on just a second. I think Tornado says he's waiting on you to
Okay.
for the invite, I think, or whatever.
Oh, let me
Something
find
you have to
his.
allow.
Yeah, let me find his Discord. Okay, open Discord. Oh, it's not popping the window up top. Jeez, come on, you. You can
Yeah.
do this. You really can. Okay,
No,
hang on.
he's got the link. He just needs to be added into the podcast by you.
Oh, I didn't see him. Oh, there he is. There he
Yes, there
is.
he is.
Hi, sweetie. Hi. Oh my. And then Orla is also here. Hello. You'll be an
Oh,
interesting person to
are you
talk
going
to
to say
because
hi? Come on, buddy.
if memory serves you,
Squeak.
don't do the traditional Christian thing, right?
And that would be what?
That would be Orla.
What is the traditional Christian thing?
Oh, the stuff everybody in the U.S. thinks. The right in the U.S. thinks that everybody does.
Hmm. I can't remember the last time I saw carolers.
Neither can I.
When I
no.
was in high school, we went out every year and we did caroling. When I was in high school, I was part of the choral group for the school. And
my.
we did what was called capital caroling. And Capital caroling. We'd be
Okay.
imagine us in black robes with the red collar across the top, standing on the stairs of the rotunda. Going up around, we go up both sides of the stairs that lead up the rotunda and around it. And it's the best place for echoes and stuff. So can you imagine 200 children 4 deep on these stairs singing for 2.5 hours?
Oh wow! How did your pipes take it?
We did it every year. We would
you-
start preparing at the beginning of the new school year in September, and we would sing every night through Christmas from like the 1st of December, all the way through until the 1st of January.
So I guess my question is just how large does your waistline have to be before you're allowed on the rotunda?
No, what I was curious about was How well do kids take singing 2.5 hours straight?
You have to be dedicated. You really do.
I mean, no sore throat or anything like that, or
No. We take a 20-minute break to let the bands play. The band would play for about a half hour, and we had a break halfway through, and that way everybody could get up, get drinks, go to the bathroom, that kind of thing.
okay then.
But it was a big thing because you're singing in the capital of the state.
Yes,
And people
yeah, that's
travel from all over the state to come watch this program. And, I did it for, 4 years, I think. 5 years.
wow. Yay.
Yeah.
I haven't done literally any caroling. About the closest thing I can call caroling is maybe singing some parody versions of songs that I have
Go
on
on.
my computer. Like, basically, the song Nothing But a Good Time by Poison, I made a parody called Reindeer with the Red Nose.
Oh no.
But that was one of our traditions growing up, was either going to see the Capitol Carolers, and it's a big thing, and it was every year until we moved to New Bloomfield, because you can't do it unless you're in the Jefferson City school system,
Okay.
because it's part of the school system. You start in like 8th grade, and you go through 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 5 years. And you each year you do different songs, but there's one particular song that they did every year, and that's "Oh Holy Night."
As I was telling Kate, I have to say that is my favorite song of the season.
I can't remember the.
What about
the
Rudolph?
No, Adeste Fidelis. I can't remember the name of it. Adeste
What the English? Oh, come all you
Oh, come all you faithful.
Fidelis,
Yep.
Leti
That is-
Yeah,
triumphantes.
see, the only version of that
Yeah.
I know is "Oh Come All Ye Grateful Deadhead to the Concert." Yeah,
That would be the song that we would sing as we were walking into the rotunda and as we were leaving. So it was our processional. So, we'd sing it. We'd sing all of the verses, and by the time we got through all of the verses, we were on the stairs and ready to go with the next song. So,
Oh my,
I think I'd probably do something funny with that, where everyone's singing the Imperial March theme.
no.
No, dear. No, coming from a Catholic background, yeah, the Adeste Fidelis in Latin sticks. I don't remember the second and following verses off my head right now, but I pick them up in a half a second with the page there, and then I can look away.
Okay.
But
Okay, hold on. Let's see if this is it. This is the right one. Okay, it wasn't 2.5 hours. They changed it. It's 1 hour and 18 minutes now.
aw.
But
Oh, okay, sure thing, Purple.
of course.
Now that we got this
Okay,
straightened
here.
out.
There's another Christmas song that I will never ever forget, and that has to be "It's Christmas at Ground Zero. The button has been
Here you
pressed.
go.
The radio just let us know that this is not a test." Oh, you gotta love Weird Al.
There.
Wait,
That's
what?
Oh my.
There you go,
Christmas at
Lavender.
Ground Zero?
That one is from 2016. They've got one for 2018. They haven't done the 2019 yet.
Wait, did you just say Christmas at Ground Zero?
Yes.
She sure did. Who did that one?
That's Weird Al.
Oh, okay, yeah. I couldn't remember if it was Al or if it was Tom Lehrer, and and as soon as you said it again, I remember you said it, but my mind, it's not there today.
There's this one Christmas tradition that my parents and I used to do, and I know I've told this story once before, but like we used to go to this old folks' home and give out gifts to them as like charity.
Yeah, okay.
Really practical stuff, like shirts and toiletries and socks and that kind of thing. And I remember I was really young, like my age had to have been in the single digits, and I wasn't paying attention. And I handed socks to this one guy, and he starts laughing, and I'm like,
Oh
"What?"
no! Oh no!
No legs. His legs were thrown off in a war or something. And I tried to take the socks back, and he's like, "No, no, no, no. I want to keep these." It's one of my most embarrassing moments, but I love to tell the story because
that is beautiful. Oh man. Oh, Sassy. I'm not seeing. What's your Twitter handle, dear? Miss Sassy. Yeah. So
I don't think she's on Twitter anymore.
Oh, okay. Oh, look who's here. It's Purple.
Hi, Purple.
Let me know where I can drop you
Hello.
a link, Sassy. Hey, Sweetness, how you doing? Things are starting to settle down a little bit here. Not much, but we're getting there, piece by piece. Oh, look, my microphone is in the shot, and I try to avoid that. Oh well, what the hell? You go, stay.
I try to avoid that too.
I really don't have any sort of. Mom and I really don't have any Christmas traditions, but one thing that I do love to do is blast Christmas music the first day it comes on at full volume. I'm also kind of doing this thing called Operation Stocking Stuffers, where I basically take the music that I hear from the radio and put it onto a gigantoid playlist so that I can listen to it whenever the hell I want. Because for me, Christmas music is that kind of music that really amps you up. For some people, Christmas music is kind of slow. For some people, they just hate Christmas music. For me, sometimes, Christmas music is music to get a speeding ticket by.
Jeez. Now,
It's
I
definitely
will-
not that for me.
I will say that most of the time, anyway, my traditional Christmas would begin with opening all the windows and blasting Bob Rivers with a little town of Bethlehem. Whoever does the singing on that thing did it better than I did. But I don't know. This year's been kind of. I think you guys already all know by now. It's when Jeff died, it kind of kicked things in the butt. So I'm trying to get things back. I really am.
The part of Christmas I like best is getting stuff. Like I have started calling it Giftmas. I mean, people wig out this time of year because, ooh, Christmas, don't say happy holidays, it's Christmas. And
Oh, please.
I've started calling it Giftmas.
There you go. I mean, okay, the right is complaining right now about the happy holidays. Where were the complaints when Andy Williams was doing it 40 years ago? Please tell me.
Manufactured outrage is rampant
of course.
in this country. Rampant.
Yeah.
Isn't there like 25 or somewhere around 25 different holidays depending on the culture?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, hang on, Sassy. We've got, we'll do some juggling here.
I like to sneak in things that people don't catch if they're not listening close enough. So this year I'm saying Merry Christless.
There's times I go full on Ren and Stimpy and say Happy Yak Shaving Day.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, boy, Jimoy. Yeah.
Well, I can't stay long anyway, but you're
Hello,
talking about...
It's great having you here, Sweetness, really.
Well, you were talking about the Christmas carols, and I have one that I know is one of Diane's favorites. One
Uh-oh.
of the things that bugs me is the fact that I can actually do this entirely from memory is Tom Lear's Christmas Carol.
Okay.
So if you
Okay.
let me have the
Yes.
stage for a moment.
By all means, dear.
Christmas time is here, by golly, disapproval would be folly. Deck the halls with hunks of holly, fill the cup and don't say when. Kill the turkeys, ducks, and chickens, mix the punch, drag out the dickens. Even though the prospect sickens, brother, here we go again. At Christmas time, you can't ignore your fellow man, you must adore. There's time to loathe him all the more, the other 364. Relations bearing no expense will send some useless old utensil. Or a matching pen and pencil, just the thing I need. How nice. It doesn't matter how sincere it is, nor how heartfelt the spirit. Sentiment will not endear it. What's important is the price.
Yes.
Hark the herald angels sing, advertising wondrous things. God rest ye merry merchants, may ye make the Yuletide pay. Angels we have heard on high tell us to go out and buy. So let the rocket sleigh bells jingle, hail our dear old friend Kris Kringle, driving his reindeer across the sky. Don't stand underneath when they fly by.
Oh!
Oh my goodness.
Yay!
As long
Oh
as
God, that
we're
was
in-
beautiful.
As long as we're in that vein, there's one that's pretty traditional, but I haven't heard it in a very long time. Deck the halls with poison ivy, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be naughty, fa la 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 la. Break a window, slash a tire, fa la 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 la. Set the Christmas tree on fire, fa la 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 la.
Okay, as long as we're doing this, there was a carol that came to me several years ago. I forget what I was doing at the time, but it just hit my head like a ton of bricks. I'll be home for Christmas, girly little me, with longish hair, blouse cut to there, and skirt above my knee. All the cousins think me really, really weird. So I'll be home for Christmas, just as the family feared. That was right after they dropped me.
Where was that one from?
That's mine.
Oh,
Yeah, I came up with that one right after those assholes dropped me. Oh my, what are you
I
gonna
like
do?
that.
Well, that reminds me of another song. We
Uh-oh.
wish you weren't living with us. We wish you weren't living with us. We wish you weren't living with us. We're not happy you're here. You drive everybody crazy. You're hopeless and lazy. You're constantly in the way here. So pack up your gear. You're eating your face. You're taking up space. We wish you weren't living with us. We're not happy you're here.
Yay!
That's all I have memorized, but there's way more to it.
That is beautiful. Oh my God. You realize, of course.
I'm more of a fan of Run Run Rudolph myself.
Okay. And then, of course, there's always Grandma got run over by a reindeer. That's a favorite right there.
Yeah,
It wasn't any
I've
of the
kind of had my
flyers,
own
I
version
hope.
of that. Which
And then, of
was,
course,
my grandma ran over a reindeer
oh my.
because 1 year, 2 days before Christmas, she did total her Jeep hitting a deer.
Oh no. And then what do we have here? Oh, okay, yeah. Lacey thinks the wife is missing. Didn't ask her permission. I'm wearing her clothes, her silk pantyhose, walking around in women's underwear. Another Bob Rivers classic for you. And that'll get me copyright struck, but yeah, what the hell, man.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah,
Wasn't there one? There was one walking in our winter underwear, which I want to think came from the Red Green Show.
Judd might have. God, I love that show. I have
That's
to.
the guy who thinks he can fix everything with duct tape.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, you can, except for stupid.
Well, you got that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you can't fix stupid with it, but you can at least muffle the noise.
There you go.
Yeah,
Actually, I would. Another meaning of the word fix. I wouldn't mind fixing stupid in place in a closed box.
of course. Okay, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but of course, there's on the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden toques, 4 pounds of back bacon, 3 fish, 2 turtlenecks, and a beer in a case. Oh, you gotta love Bob and Doug McKenzie, eh?
Oh, indeed. Oh,
Of course,
my
now you
word.
can be festive and you can get the duct tape in red and green.
Okay, then.
So,
I know
Yeah,
exactly what I'm getting the next time I kidnap someone over Christmas.
Oh, my.
well,
Sorry.
you know, the universal toolkit is a roll of
No.
duct tape, a can of WD-40.
Yeah, pretty much.
If it moves and it shouldn't, use duct tape. If it doesn't move and it should, use WD-40.
Yeah, and then unfortunately,
Kind of like my philosophy in a lot of video games. If it's not nailed down, it's mine, and if I can pry it loose, it's not nailed down.
there you go. Yeah, Nerdy Rodent says he's going to tape a banana to the wall using festive duct tape. Didn't you love that little piece of artwork?
Oh my god, I think it's
And then the
absolutely
artist-
ridiculous.
The artist ate the banana, if I remember correctly, right?
I didn't think it was the artist. I thought someone else ate the banana.
Oh, okay.
Wait. So some guy taped a banana to a wall and got over $100,000 for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I should think of these
In
things.
my life, I could just tape Rudolph to a wall.
Well,
we need
the
no
word-
longer fear the banana.
the word that's been going around is a lot of people think that's a money laundering thing. I don't know if it is or not.
The expensive ass art that's in no way art.
Yeah.
Possibly.
There was an instance, I think it was at an art gallery in California, but they were doing a modern art exhibit. And apparently somebody had just dropped their sunglasses on the floor. And
Oh,
people were
no.
walking around it and taking pictures thinking it was part of the exhibit.
Oh,
You
man.
know, it makes
What?
me want to get into modern art because I could come up with some crazy ass shit that people might actually buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It
really.
reminds me of that scene in Beverly Hills Cop where there's like that table with the rotating.
Oh, my word. It's
Oh,
very
that's
important
what I'm
piece.
saying. Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh. People will buy anything.
There is a place here in Pittsburgh called the Mattress Factory Art Museum, which has all kinds of stuff like that. There's stuff strewn all over the floor. You would think that somebody dropped it there. No, it's one of the exhibits. It's weird. Let me pull this up here, and I know we got to.
Probably end up cleaning it.
Oh, did you get my link, Lavender, for Capital Caroling?
No, I don't think I did. Where is it?
Hold on.
Is it in Discord?
It might be in the YouTube. Hold on. Let me.
Sorry about that, Sassy. Yeah, I know we had all of a sudden people all over the place here, which is okay. I mean, the more the merrier. We have 13 people viewing. I like that. Thank you.
You
Really?
can drop me to the back room if Sassy wants to come in for a while.
Oh, she took off.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she said heading out. Gotta go. Sorry about that, hon.
Sorry,
it would have been
Sassy. Didn't
it would have
mean
been
to freak you out.
interesting. Yeah, it would have been interesting to hear what we'll have to do that. Maybe. Well, I intend, Sassy, if you're listening in, if you have the time, we have the beer to have you on the show at some point, and we can talk about that sort of thing. You know, being
You're
there,
smart.
there, out, and back. That would be really, really interesting. But that's for another day.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Actually-
it's for the best, because so far, whenever I'm in a chat with Sassy, I do my best to make her blush by talking about inappropriate toys.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Shut up, Clarion.
Oh man! No, hey, I'm not the one who bought 700 double A cells.
They're for my VR controllers. Okay, they're for my VR controllers. I swear.
No, if I'm buying
And
if I'm buying double A's, it's either for my piano or my guitar.
and the darn thing is, I know Kate well enough to know that she's telling the truth.
Hey, don't worry. If I ever start buying hundreds of double A cells, they're probably either for my guitar or for my electric piano.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh my!
There you go, Lavender. I put it in your Discord.
Oh, danke schön, danke schön. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah,
listened
yeah,
to
yeah.
one that they did for 2018, and they sounded off key. So I took the one from 2016 that sounds the best.
Oh my! I am going to pick this up. Can I? Okay, I can copy the link. I'm going to pick this up and drop it sight unseen for all you guys who want to see it, and I will get on this. Okay, there are two waiting. We can get rid of them. Okay, we'll put this over here. Yay!
So, given that this is not just about Christmas traditions, I mean, the title
Right.
says holiday traditions, half of my family is Jewish, my mom's side. And so we had a tendency to do a little of both. I mean, I've lit a menorah, I've spun a dreidel,
Mhm.
I've gotten
Okay.
presents on more than just one day. There's never really anything particularly religious about it. Any more than there was about Christmas, which again was primarily about decorating a tree and getting gifts. So ever since I left home and moved away to Seattle, started going to college, all of that stuff, and now I'm in San Diego, like I have not done any of that, and I'm not sure I miss it, but at the same time, it was such a part of my childhood, having Hanukkah and Christmas together.
Okay, then. What is that? Twice the gifts?
It wasn't really because I like my Jewish side relatives didn't really send Christmas gifts so much, and also
Okay.
like Hanukkah presents tend to be like for the first 6 days they're pretty weak sauce, and on the seventh day you get like some pretty badass stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, I
So
grew up in the
it's different.
minority Catholic family in a village that was 85% Jewish. So
Yeah, you
Now,
mentioned.
what could you? What are dreidels?
They're
I was just going to ask what the dreidel thing was all about, if you
It's a
don't mind
top.
explaining.
It's a top.
Yeah.
it's
That's really all
actually a
it is.
gambling game.
Yes, it is.
That
Yep.
basically they're putting bets on which side, which of the four characters on the dreidel will come up on top.
Yeah, now how did that get associated with Hanukkah?
I don't know. Like I said, this was all just sort of window dressing, really. It
Yeah.
was, this is our holiday. We're celebrating it. Here's food and decorations and gifts. That was really all it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
and well, what Kate was saying about the Hanukkah gifts being kind of weak, in the Jewish tradition, they tended to be small and they tended to be practical things, and in particular, they do put a lot of stress on the schooling. So the gifts would tend to be things like a blank notebook and a couple of pencils, or just a book of some kind.
I'd if I were in that thing, I'd probably give him a ferrocerium rod for emergencies.
So you might say that they give a PAA, if you remember the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the personal analog assistant, the notebook and the pencils.
Oh yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
that would be a more modern equivalent.
Now, yeah, it's,
With me, it would be if I were in that community, it would be a ferrocerium rod. Hey,
I
never know.
I had a dreidel around here somewhere, and I cannot remember what I did with it. And I have lit a menorah of all things. Please forgive me. I appropriated it for the Perry solstice era. Celebrating the return of the light.
Well, these days, though, people really should rise up and protest and make sure that it's actually called a personora.
Indeed, yes.
It's the
I
dreidel
just
to a
think
drill,
that-
and then you get a drill, which could be used to light fires.
Because that was a thing, like when this new Star Wars show, The Mandalorian, came out, and I was like, shouldn't it be Person-DeLorean?
Mhm.
I don't know. The whole manufactured outrage thing has really started to, because people take it too far sometimes.
No, indeed, absolutely.
Well, and the thing with the whole war on Christmas is they kind of wedge the nativity scene in there to make it about Jesus. But without that, everything we associate with it is taken from pagan festivals.
Yes, it are. Yeah.
So if Christians really thought about this the way they are about paganism, they should be leading the charge on the war against Christmas and not let us celebrate this.
Well, but that's the thing, though. Is, I mean, a large part of how Christianity spread was by appropriating other people's traditions.
Yep.
I mean, that
Oh,
was the
yeah.
thing they did. And so the fact that all of these Christmas rituals are traditionally, or at least originally, pagan makes perfect sense in that context.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting what it says about the Christianity of the time, where, okay, our stuff is really, really boring. So if we want people to convert, we've got to make it more fun. Let's steal their stuff.
Well, and it seems like a large part of the like Christianity versus the rest of the religions in the world thing was basically our God is a bigger dick than your God. It's like, oh, your God can control the weather, your God can control this, that, or the other thing. Yeah. Well, ours is all powerful. That was is our God is bigger than your God.
Who is it? Was it Aaron or was it Peter Hatfield who brought up the scene from Conan the Barbarian, where Conan and whoever it was were sitting by the fire and describing their gods, and your God is really, well, my God is better than your God. My God is everywhere, not just on the mountain. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like something Aaron Ra would be.
Well, that and seeing your enemies driven before you and hearing the lamentations of their women and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I could read from Exodus and Deuteronomy about that.
What I do with Christmas is I tend to go back to the Yule. And for me, most of it's an observation of my Scandinavian heritage and the things that they were doing before Christmas ever got to Europe. Before Christianity was introduced to Europe.
I don't know if everybody in the audience understands Yule at all. I don't. Want to go into some detail about what exactly Yule is?
Well, the main thing is Yule is the winter solstice.
Yes.
Which is generally December 21st. Sometimes it actually is December 20th, but it's the longest night of the year.
Yeah.
And basically it was, just the time of darkness. Also, the reason we celebrate New Year's when we do is because on the calendar they used to use, it was based on the lunar cycles. And to sync it up with the solar calendar, you would always have 10 days left over. So that's why you've got 10 days between Yule and the New Year's, because you have 10 days that didn't belong to either year. The old year had ended, and you have the 10 days of darkness before the new year. And
okay, then.
For my ancestors, not really too long ago, my mother's family came to the U.S. in 1904. And before that, where they were living is actually above the Arctic Circle. So for their village, the sun literally did not rise for about 3 weeks.
Damn.
Okay, then.
I mean, I've heard that sort of thing before, but I've forgotten it.
That would have killed me. Literally, that. Yeah. It's bad enough here in Pittsburgh during the winter when the nights are so long. The sun is setting at 4:30 p.m. and it's not rising until nearly 8.
So that's
You know,
the
you
main
wouldn't know
tradition
it.
I had.
You wouldn't know it by the picture behind me because it looks like there's a nuclear holocaust out there, but it's actually been really, really, really freaking dark the last week or so here in San Diego.
Okay.
And honestly, I wouldn't mind like 3 weeks or 3 days or whatever you said of nighttime, but it's like the ugly, bright ass clouds I can't stand.
Yeah.
Is that why it looks like a nuclear holocaust behind you?
Yes, dear.
Well,
It's
that
really
and how
weird.
cameras work.
When I was younger, I used to love the night. And as I've got older, it's the SAD, the SAD, seasonal affective disorder, has got progressively worse. Every year is worse than the one before. And I mean, right about now, I am of the mind where I would like to just order all the supplies I would need for 4 months. And I have a nice chest freezer where I could just store frozen meats and all this other stuff and canned foods and everything else, and just not leave the house from November to say February. Just crawl into bed, pull the blanket over my head, and say, "Bye, everybody. I'll see you in April."
Well, maybe your
Lavender.
seasonal affective disorder is different from mine, but that would actually, for me, be worse.
Yeah.
Lavender,
Okay. Yes, dear.
come down to Florida. The sun is actually up until like say 5:30.
Oh boy.
5:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little later.
Well, and that was part of
Honey.
the thing, living in Scandinavia during this time of year, that you had to be prepared that you could be snowed in for a week or so and not be able to leave the house.
Well, hell,
Yeah,
living in
So,
Vermont,
that
same
was
thing.
basically the thing, that it would be a week-long party. And, really the main thing that was important was, did you have enough wood stocked up to keep your fire burning?
Yeah. You
Well,
had to
that
be
explains the
constantly.
whole Yule log thing, doesn't it?
Yes.
Surely. Yeah.
And, actually, part of the Santa Claus mythos is also taken from the Norse about
like
Odin
how he's dressed,
driving his
and,
chariot across the sky. And part of it they screw up is they keep saying Santa's elves. But if you look at the way they're portrayed, elves are
gnomes.
usually like, human size, like 6 feet tall, and, tend to be at best ambivalent to people, if not actually aggressive against them. The friendly little guys are the Scandinavian gnomes.
Yes, I've been saying this
Gnomes
for
are
years.
brownies.
Santa has gnomes. Gnomes are tinkerers, and they're
Right.
I've been saying that for ages. Finally, someone else has said it without my prompting.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
and that's part of the legend with the gnomes is, that they would come in at night and fix things for people,
like
and
the
sometimes
shoemaker.
leave little toys for the children.
And that's become Santa driving his sleigh with 9 reindeer, whatever anyone else says. Rudolph is always on the sleigh, no matter what weather, because
That was only after Chino Trace, so don't give me that.
Yeah, because the 8 reindeer thing was supposed to be representative of Sleipnir having 8 legs.
Yes.
Yep.
and now we have Rudolph.
He's stuck on Rudolph.
One thing that amuses the hell out of me is there's a Christmas episode of Xena, which, takes place in like Greece and stuff. And so they called him Centicles.
Oh no!
They call him Lion.
Yeah.
Centicles. That sounds like a centipede.
Well, a little, but I don't know. I found it quite amusing. Xena managed to mix adventure with humor rather well.
Yes.
Okay, then.
Now with the
Well, look at
centipede
Jockster.
reference, I've got this image of Santa Claus as this like centaur creature with a centipede body and 50 legs.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny.
No.
I don't believe in astrology, but I'm a Sagittarius, and when people ask me what my star sign is, I tell them I'm a horse's ass.
Wait, really?
We need to get someone to draw Purple's image of Santa Claus.
No,
When anyone
you know
when
what
anyone
kind of
asks,
it is now? Something of a minotaur or a centaur-looking thing, but instead of the horse body, it's a reindeer body, and he can fly.
That's his image. Yes. Okay.
okay, when anyone asks me what my sign is, I tell them I was born under the 13th sign of the zodiac. No parking.
Wait, what's your sign, Bionic Dance?
I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a horse's
I'm a
ass.
Pisces. I'm a fish.
Pisces. All of them are kind of fishy.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll
okay,
tell
it's
you
a
what
real,
my star
Now, if
sign
only I could swim like
I'm
a fish.
tumor.
And not to mention all those really crabby cancers.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer. I'm the only sign that is a terminal disease.
there you go. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I liken it to say I don't like horoscopes. They make me look like a tumor.
I love George Carlin's thing, and now I can't remember it. Brain not work now. Never mind. George Carlin said a thing, and it was funny.
It'll come back to you.
Imagine
Yeah.
how stupid the average person is. Then realize about half of them are stupider than that.
No,
Yeah.
that wasn't it. It was something else. Something about star signs or something. I don't remember now.
Now, see, I
Oh,
always
let's see
thought
if I can
that
find
somebody
it.
should publish horoscopes that each day just the impending doom that will fall upon you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Horoscopes.
like cancer. You're gonna have a meteorite land on your head. Hey, it's bound
What I-
to happen to someone.
Well, you know what kind of bugs me? I mean, like horoscopes are generally like here's your daily fortune that tells you what is about to befall you. But fortune cookies are usually advice or like inspirational
cheerful
poster
or-
type stuff. You are a
Yeah.
wonderful person. It never predicts anything, and
Yeah.
thus I have a hard time calling them fortune cookies.
Actually,
Well, I don't
no,
know.
we had one fortune cookie where it was saying, "You can have another fortune. Break another cookie."
okay.
You can get misfortune cookies as well. They're funny.
Penn and
You know,
Teller
I-
put out a book called How to Play with Your Food. And one of the things it came with was a bunch of little cutout fortunes. And so what you do is when you go to a Chinese restaurant with a bunch of friends, you palm the actual fortune and
Mhm.
take out theirs, which says things like the chef spit in your food or that wasn't chicken. One of them is actually the punchline to a joke you have to set up earlier about like some monkey man creature thing that it's like I heard about my friend who was cursed by the monkey man, but I don't believe it. And then the fortune says, "Smart ass skeptic, monkey man will make you believe." And so the story way before the meal is concluded, and then just sort of stare in disbelief at your fortune until someone takes it from you and reads it. So yeah, that was a thing.
I love those jokes where you have to set them up like a half hour early, and then the punchline.
Also, I think someone actually got a fortune cookie that said, and I quote, "Do or do not. There is no try."
Yeah, I wouldn't be
That was
surprised
George
if they're
Lucas.
printing those.
Yes.
Oh
Yoda
my!
specifically.
Now, see,
You know, something you were talking about earlier, like growing up not religious, there are a lot of, let's call them blind spots about biblical lore.
Oh my!
And so when I first heard about the book of Deuteronomy, I pictured something scientific like astronomy and Deuteronomy. Because that ending of it, I had no idea.
Onomy.
I understand it; it's a name. Like people were actually named Deuteronomy at some point, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me? That you like naming someone chemistry or archaeology or something?"
Well, the Nomi is name of so astronomy, naming the stars. What I don't remember is what the deuter part is.
I think it means someone who has to use the toilet frequently. Someone who
was
would
just
use
thinking
Okay.
a timer is a Deuteronomy. There was actually an episode of the show Mad About You that had Mel Brooks as a guest star. And he was explaining to people like that his name that everyone knows him by is not actually his name. And they go, why?
Right.
What's your real first name? He says, Deuteronomy. And he talks about how people used to tease him saying, do you have any duty on a you? No, I got duty on a me, like that. And yeah, I'll never forget
Oh,
that because that was the first time I ever heard the word Deuteronomy. And I was so mystified by it when he kept saying it.
now from Britannica, we have the title Deuteronomy, derived from Greek, thus means a copy or a repetition of the law rather than a second law, as the word's etymology seems to suggest. Interesting.
It sounds like it's an ancestral name, like son of this, kind of the way a lot of Scandinavian names end in son, where it's like
Or
the son
Dotier.
of whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Second, yeah.
Doter.
Yeah, one of my exes years and years ago would mention that where the old convention still followed, her name should have been Ludwigstalter because she was the daughter of Ludwig. Where Ludwigson is the son of Ludwig.
Yep.
But
Yeah. When my fiance and I were planning our wedding, one of the things I noted was that the Minnesota marriage license says bride's name, groom's name you will be known as after the marriage. It does not say this has to be either of your names. So we're going to take the
Right.
opportunity to make one up.
Well,
And
I have a. Well, go on.
We were debating a couple of them, but our favorite one was we were thinking of going with Mixfensunsky, which is basically saying son of in 4 different languages.
yeah.
Well, I have a bunch of friends and some relatives who, when they got married, decided to make a completely new last name for themselves. Like my cousin Adam and his now husband, they changed their last name to Gray. Both of them, neither of them had that as their
Okay.
last name. And I have some friends in the Seattle goth scene who did something similar. Like their last name is now Long. Like I think, gosh, what was his last name? It was something like Lundgren or something weird, like Dolph Lundgren, and her name was something vaguely similar, and they just sort of truncated both their names down to Long. So
If I remember correctly, back in the 80s, when I did get married, Ohio allowed the adoption of a name that belonged to neither of the people being married at the time, although they did not specify that you could do that. You had to know you could, but if you knew that you could, then you did, or could, or would.
If I could
Or-
find
That's
a
the-
girl who would be willing to do, if I could, can you do that in Florida too?
Don't know.
I don't know, man.
You have to look.
I don't know. You'd have to
If
look it
I
up.
could get married in Ohio and such like that, or get married in a state that allows me to do that, I'd probably ask, hey, do you think I could change my name to Rudolph and my wife be Clarice?
No. No.
well, you know,
Now,
I was
see, I've
thinking
been
about it a
promoting
little
that
while
should-
ago. Is that names are such an odd thing. I know there have been cultures in history, and maybe still now, where once you reach a certain age, they expect you to choose your own name. But the fact that your parents assign you your name, and generally speaking, they won't let you change it, and they might saddle you with some horrible, horrible name. Like it's
Oh,
2019,
yeah.
and they
Yeah.
might decide that now your name is, I don't know, Esther or Mildred or something. And it's like, what are you doing? You're hamstringing me for popularity in school from birth. It seems to me like
Mhm.
there ought to be something where you get to choose your own name.
Well,
when you
Yeah,
I've
it was
had that- I've
popular
had
among
that
Native
thought.
American tribes that it was
My-
part of the ceremony of being recognized as an adult was choosing your name.
My mom absolutely hates Tornado's name.
Okay.
And she refuses to call him anything but TC, which is his first and middle initial. Now, his dad's mom truncated his name to Tally, Tally. I wanted to strangle the woman. It's like, There is no Y in his name. There is no second L in his name. What
If
are you
anything-
trying to do?
If anything, I would think that a natural nickname, shortened name, whatever, would be Tal.
Yeah,
But I'm
or Lon.
Yeah.
Well, it
Okay.
didn't take very
LL.
long for people to realize that if they call me Katie, I will murder them.
Everybody does.
Well, I've been promoting that they should make that as part of the normal marriage ceremony. Because you're starting a new family, so you should name your new family whatever you want it to be.
I like it.
In
I
this
really
country,
do.
I named myself
know
Rudolph
that,
and my wife
people
Clarice.
will give themselves wacky ass names like Troll Slayer Rocket Man or some shit. I mean, you can't trust people to not give themselves a video game handle in today's day
Yeah,
and
go for it.
Yeah,
I'm kind of in favor of it because it will make life so much more interesting.
Yep.
Like, oh, hey, Troll Slayer, how you doing? Good to see you when you're at the coffee shop or something. That would be interesting. But at the same time, it would also be pretty goofy.
No, I had a thought. I mean, I do occasionally have them. When I was younger, and even before I was thinking of the current reason for having changed my name, that changing my name from Edward to something else would have been a good idea for me because I was named for him.
Yeah.
And I wasn't having, I wouldn't, if anything, James would have worked. But I'm kind of happy that I got the chance to change my name to something
yeah, you
reasonable.
don't look like a James to me.
No. That was my middle name, by the way. But
I hate to say it. Anytime I see someone whose name is James or Jim or anything, it will become Jimbo in my head.
Well,
no.
Anytime I see the name Jim, it's you fucker.
a bit of doxing myself, not that it'll do any good because my name's so generic. But my actual last name is Johnson. But actually, that's not my birth name. I had changed that. That's another story about trying to adopt my stepdaughter. But when I want to screw with people, since I'm Scandinavian, I tell them it should be pronounced Jansven.
I always found
wonder
that
what
I
it must be
kind of
like when your last name is Smith or Jones or something similar. It's just like, wow, why not just call me, first name Mick generic name or something?
Well, that's the nice thing. I mean, I wasn't trying to do this when I did this, but it got did anyway. It appears that I am the only Diana Clarion in the United States, which is kind of nice.
Really?
When I was looking up my name in various places, it appears that at least those databases did not have any others.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm saying knowing my real name won't really help anyone because it's 6 pages in the Minneapolis phone book.
There you and I'm more exclusive now than I was because as far as my dead name goes, I was one of 2 Edward Zavarcase in the United States. Guess who the other one was?
That extraordinaire.
I'm looking and I'm seeing a Kathy Farr in Hagerstown, Maryland. And that's on Facebook. I don't know if her first name is spelled the same way as my full first name, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm seeing a Catherine L. Farr in Winona, wherever the Hades that is. I guess New Jersey. So yeah, I'm not the only Catherine Farr in the world.
There's a Winona in Minnesota.
I know I'm not the only one with my name either because I used to receive mail from this one person, and our social security numbers differ by 1.
Yikes!
Oh my!
And yeah, but she's black. It's hard to mistake me for her.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what.
Social insecurity number.
Yeah, I got a note a few years ago that I owed HUD a whole bunch of money because there was income reported under my Social Security number, And as I was reading the papers and everything else, it would have been kind of hard to mistake one for the other because the other person with my social security number was Hispanic. Now, I don't have two kids by the name of Juan and Martina or whatever it was. So they were very, very Latin names.
Right.
It was kind of easy to say to convince these people. Yeah, somebody took my social security number. It's that's an entirely different show.
Well,
I'm not casting dispersions on anybody's character as far as that goes. But
She didn't take my social security number. We were just that closely.
yeah, no, somebody actually did take mine. They reported their
boy.
income under my number, and I have a feeling that the company they worked for facilitated it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
if it was an illegal immigrant who didn't have a social security number,
Which is
and
probably
they
what
had
it
to
was.
assign a number just to do the paperwork.
Yeah, probably what it was. Which is why, I'll just a quick statement here. I would rather see the immigration reform than throw everybody out.
Yeah.
But
That's one of the
we'll get
things
to
they
that
don't
on
think
another
about.
show.
Yeah, if they would document these people and give them social security numbers, then the system would be collecting taxes from them.
Yeah, but then you'd be letting in brown people.
Yeah, I know, and that's verboten.
Now, back onto the whole holiday traditions thing. There's one that I think desperately needs to go away. Because
Oh, boy.
see, in exactly 1 week, it'll be my birthday. 10 days away from Christmas.
Happy birthday!
Here's your Christmas and birthday present. Oh, fuck you.
Uh-huh.
Totally separate days. Come
My
on.
mom's birthday is coming up in 3 days.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Well, I really feel for you, Kate, because you have mentioned this previously, but you got one hell of a birthday present a few years ago.
Yes. I was born on the same day that Christopher Hitchens died, and I will never forgive him for that.
Wasn't Christopher Hitchens like someone really popular?
Yes, he was very
Yeah.
prominent in the atheism scene when atheism kind of exploded online. There was the Four Horsemen was Dawkins, Dennett, Harrison, Hitchens, and I have to say that Christopher Hitchens was probably my favorite because he didn't take any shit from anybody. He didn't buy into anyone else's crapola, and he had a very quick wit and biting sense of humor, and I loved that about him.
Yes.
How
It was-
about when he school Ken Ham?
He wouldn't even have bothered with Ken Ham. It would have been like, don't waste my time, little boy.
Although he did bother with Billy Lane Craig, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably depends upon his mood.
Yeah, in case you were interested in how Hitchens' mind was concerning atheism, he wrote the book God Is Not Great.
No, of
And
course,
you may or may not be interested in reading it. I find it to be a very large diatribe. There's little scholarship in it, but yeah,
Well, I
Is that
love
the guy
the
responsible
secondary
for
title of it is how religion poisons everything.
Is
But-
Alex is Christopher Hitchens the guy who posited that which is asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence?
I thought that was Carl Sagan.
No,
I
that's
thought it was
referred to
was
as
that-
Hitchens' razor.
Oh, that was Hitchens. I didn't know if Hitchens borrowed that. Okay,
Yep.
so that is Hitchens. Okay,
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Um,
Brilliant man, but yeah, it was a horrible, horrible birthday present. And when I heard the news, I made a video where I did a shot in his honor because he always seemed to have a glass in his hand, a glass of something.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so like I say, Christmas and birthday are two separate things. Sometimes
Oh,
I see
absolutely.
people who have their birthday in June because they will get proper presents. I mean, it's not like anyone said, here's your birthday and Christmas present, and oh, by the way, it's twice as expensive as what I would have gotten you if it was just Christmas. No, it was just, here's an opportunity to like stiff Kate out of a gift is what
Yeah.
that was.
My
And-
fiance's birthday was in January, and they did the same thing to her.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
right.
Here's the thing.
I'm
My
going to
birthday
head
falls.
off. I need to finish working on my tree.
Yeah,
I will
my
be back
birthday
later.
falls on July 9th. So
Love you, Lavender. Bye bye.
Have
Well,
fun.
take care,
Watch
sweetness.
the
Love you
play.
dearly.
Later, Mom.
Bye.
my birthday happens to fall on July 9th. So there's a serious joke there that I was born on the day that the White House got blown up in the movie Independence Day. Or
Okay.
shortly
Okay.
afterwards. So my birthday presents could either be presents or fireworks. Either way, it's a win-win.
Okay.
Well, everybody knows what my birthday present was. So actually, two of them. Because the one everybody forgets about was Viking 1, also landed on July 20th.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
And it was not supposed to have done that, but because there was a big dust storm on the original landing date, they had to reschedule.
And it still knocks me out the way they did some of those delays on the rockets. Like I was watching The Right Stuff a little while ago, and they had, I'm trying to remember his name, first dude to orbit.
John Glenn?
No, other guy.
Oh, are you talking about the first to fly, Al Shepard?
Yeah, well, where he had to pee in his suit because
That was Al.
they left him up there for 7 hours waiting for launch, and
Yeah.
like he gets on the intercom thing, the radio, and he's like, I have to urinate, and the German scientists are like, we did not think of that.
I like the way he was describing it in one interview. He said something to the effect of, "I'm up there in the capsule and starting to think that second cup of coffee for breakfast wasn't such a great idea."
I mean, and I don't even know why they were delaying. Like, they didn't really mention that in the movie. They never said, "Oh, there was this technical detail, this snafu that went wrong." I don't know why they delayed so hard.
There was a rumor going around that they were afraid to authorize because they thought they were signing his death warrant.
Oh.
And then he finally said, "Look, just fly me, will you?" Basically, he said, light this candle.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. It sounds kind of apocryphal, but
Well, I mean,
they
sometimes
probably
I wonder
wanted.
if I would have had the guts for that. It's like, well, this may blow up on the launch pad, but damn it, if it doesn't, send me up there. And heck,
Yeah.
maybe if it did, you wouldn't even notice. It might be one of those fifth and it's over things. I
Well,
don't
It
know.
would be.
pretty much. Yeah,
Before you were
even
aware of it, you'd be completely incinerated.
even a Redstone was a pretty big firecracker, and that was the smallest
The
launch
early
vehicle that they
astronauts were all
used.
taken from
Now,
the test
one
pilot
launch they
program.
probably ought to have delayed was Challenger.
Oh
Yeah.
my, yeah. Well, that one burns me because the guy from Thiokol came forward and said, "Look, we can't fly," and whatever the army person's name was or military person's name was, "What do you want? We fly in April?" And I would have answered, "That wouldn't be a bad idea." But it was the idea that we have to fly, no matter what. He said, "You fly, they're dead." Well, we're going to fly anyway. And I said, "Screw you."
If it was me and he asked, well, what do you want to do? Fly in April? My exact thoughts would be, no. What I want to do is take off the damn rocket booster and then fly in April.
I remember there was an interview with the surviving Mercury astronauts at the time. And at the time, it was Al, John, Scotty, and Wally. And Wally had said that, in no uncertain terms, that the solid rocket boosters were a very, very bad idea. And you've got one of the guys that was putting his life on the line in the program saying that no fucking way would I ever get aboard with with those things strapped on, because there's a small problem with solid rockets. You light it up, you can't shut the fuckers off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you know, and you have
I
to
look
consider-
at Challenger as kind of the death of NASA in a way.
In a way, yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
And it also killed the box office receipts for Space Camp as well, which was kind of a shame because it's not a bad movie.
Okay. Yeah, because that whole program, that whole shuttle program, was a big mistake. The It was described by one person, by one of the engineers, as they designed this rocket to go to the wrong place, and then once it got there, they had to figure out what it was going to do there, and then the whole cost cutting thing, which the solids were a cost cutting thing. You were originally going to have the shuttle Saturn, where the first stage of Saturn V was going to be the booster. But you had some aerodynamic issues that you had to solve. So it was going to take time, it was going to take money, and Nixon was ready to kill it and said, okay, let's put these death sticks on there.
Yeah.
If I was that guy, I would have looked at Nixon and said, "You don't want to sell me death sticks." Basically, looking at the solid rocket boosters, and I use solid rocket boosters all the time in Kerbal Space Program because, well, there's
no humans die in KSP, okay?
But still, if it was me in that situation, it's like, I know what solid rocket boosters can do. You light them up, you can't turn them off. I would look at him and say,
That's what I said.
you don't want to sell me death sticks. You will
That's
go
what
home
I said.
and rethink your space look. You will
Yeah,
go
yeah,
home and
we
rethink
get
your
the we
space
get the
agency.
joke. It's not very funny.
Yeah, it's anyway. So much for Christmas rockets, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of Christmas rockets, I have an entire...
Oh no! Oh, I am so sorry, Robert. Robert X says my wife died in December.
Oof, sorry. Still.
That must have been a fun Christmas present. My ex-wife was born in December. As a matter of fact, she was born this day in 1942. But she's not listening. She died 2 years ago.
Still,
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder what happened to some of my exes that I haven't heard from in years. I know there's one, she like moved to Sweden for a relationship, but I don't know about the one I moved to Seattle for.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't help but wonder
Was that the
what
one
happened
with
to
a
them or
little?
what might have happened with you if things had gone differently.
Was that the one with a little bit of a substance problem?
No.
No. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
well, first of all, I've had two of those, and I've
Okay.
learned my lesson since. But no, those two I met after I was in Seattle.
Okay.
Believe
Now-
me, if there had been substance abuse problems, I would not have moved to Seattle for this woman. So,
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that it became apparent only after you moved, but it didn't happen at all, so that settles that. Yeah.
you said something about Christmas rockets?
Nothing worth repeating.
Well, I have an entire playlist, or I should say an entire list of Kerbals in KSP that are basically named after the reindeer, and I have 10 classes of rockets that are basically themed after the reindeer, and I have a reindeer flag, so yeah, I've got plenty of Christmas rockets.
That's nice.
okay.
Oh my.
So, anyway, I don't know of like other Christmas or holiday traditions that I find missing. I know that there's a lot of people who would have like these big, huge Christmas dinners as
Oh
part
yeah.
of their experience. Never really had that, but part of why is because my extended family was usually pretty spread out and we never saw each other. In some ways, I envy those people where it's like, oh yeah, Grammy lives an hour's drive away or less.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Trust me, you don't.
The cousins are a couple of blocks over, that kind of thing. where they would have big family get-togethers. I never had that, and my parents were both the black sheep of their families. So we saw our relatives like maybe once a year would be a lot, maybe once every other year.
Oh
And
my,
so
okay.
we never
I know
had
that feeling.
those big Christmas dinners. It just never happened, and I kind of envy that in a way.
Well, for me,
Well-
growing up, Christmas was literally a packed house. That there was no way we could set people, sit down for a Christmas dinner. So it was served buffet style, and it was literally take your plate and try and find a place that you could sit or stand to eat.
Okay, then.
Because well, people would come and go through the course of the evening, but this would always be on Christmas Eve. And on average, we were talking about 60 to 70 people coming through the house.
Holy shit.
That's a lot.
That's quite a few people. Yeah. And I thought 14 was bad. No, because the Christmases at Bobka's, there was 14. There were 13 in the family, but
Yeah.
you couldn't seat 13 at the table. They, superstition, that whole thing. So you invited a family friend to be number 14. Those were big drunk fests.
Well,
My uncles, my aunts, heavy drinkers. Slovaks, come on, really,
Yeah.
the Eastern European tradition. And as far as the other side of the family goes, I rarely saw her side of the family because he hated them.
yeah.
So,
Well, for me growing up, you had to start out with that until my oldest siblings got old enough to move out of the house, we had 14 people living in the house.
Crazy.
And then it was the aunts and uncles and cousins and friends.
Wow.
oh man, if you've got, well, I know that you had more than this, but say you had a 4-bedroom house, that's three per bedroom. Because your father created a few bedrooms downstairs, didn't he?
Yeah, well, that's, eventually the basement got subdivided to create 2 more bedrooms down there. But we couldn't do too much with the basement because most of the space had to be saved from my dad's workshop because he was a carpenter by trade. So he needed to have the table saw and all the power tools down there.
Well,
Okay, so 1 or 2 of the kids would stretch out on the table saw, right?
Yeah.
Either side of the
that-
blade.
The funny thing is that if anyone has an idea for how loud a table saw normally is, I always wear earplugs.
Mm-hmm.
So that would give you a way to slice up the turkey.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, actually, we used the bandsaw to butcher the deer anytime somebody got one.
Deer.
Well, that's standard procedure. Yeah.
anyway, I'm gonna head out because I've got pretty much nothing more to talk about.
Yep.
Well,
See you guys.
Bye.
glad having you here. You be good, sweetness.
Gladly.
Yay.
Catch you later.
More to come.
Yeah, but
Oh,
as I was saying that, as loud as the table saw is, that when my mom's particularly having difficulties, it actually helps her if I go over to her house and run the table saw and work on projects in the basement. It helps her fall asleep because she's used to that.
Okay. Okay.
And the funny thing is, it actually is my dad's old table saw that got brought up here. I refurbished it.
Well, it's funny as much as I was joking about carving the turkey with the table saw. One thing my parents did the last time I went to visit them that absolutely horrified me was slice pizza with scissors.
Yes.
I was just like, "What the hell are you people doing?" No.
Pizza
no.
scissors. I love it. Oh God, I love it.
Oh, it freaked me out. It really
Okay, I don't get the big deal here. I've done that.
It's not right. I'm sorry, it's not. You didn't need one of those roller thingies. That's how you.
I don't think I've ever. Ooh, everybody's falling apart. I don't think I've ever done it with pizza, but I have cut various food items with kitchen shears, on my dinner plate. I mean, it was what was handy, you know. Oh my!
Well, as I don't have teeth left, I tend to use the kitchen shears for a lot of things now.
Well, I don't know. Now I'm picturing like sticking pizza slices in a blender and making a smoothie.
I like the idea.
I don't, but okay.
I forget the last time I had a pizza. It's been a
boy.
while.
Okay, you want to talk about wacky ass flavors for things?
Oh boy! Oh boy!
I recently found cinnamon Coca-Cola.
Oh,
What?
never heard of that one.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm picturing in my head here, and I'm not sure that I would find cinnamon a good combination with the other flavors that are in Coca-Cola.
Well, I'll tell you this much: it tastes just like regular Coca-Cola with a very slight cinnamon aftertaste.
Okay, I'm willing to try it.
Well, that
And
was
then-
one of the problems. I mean, supermarkets around me have a tendency to not have singles of anything. If you want to have soda, candy, whatever, you have to buy a 6-pack. You have to buy the big, huge family pack of M&Ms. You can't just get like that single serving size. So to try that, I mean, fortunately, they're small cans. They're not the regular cans. But
Oh,
I
are
still-
those the 6-ounce cans?
But I still had to buy a 6er of them just to try it.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was living in Minnesota 10 years ago, some survey had determined that the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro area was demographically average for the company. So we became the test market for virtually every new product they put out.
Oh boy.
That
They
could be
would see how it would
interesting
fly
info.
there, and so we'd have things available there for like 3 months that no one else in the country would ever hear of.
Okay, Columbus was like that for Ohio.
Well, and especially because General Mills is based in Minneapolis, so it was easy for them to try out all their new cereals and everything.
Well, they could have done that in Seattle too. I mean, granted, a lot of Seattle is Scandinavian, but a lot of people also moved there for Amazon and Microsoft and Boeing jobs. And so there was a lot of cross-cultural stuff going on in Seattle. They could have tried stuff there too.
Yeah, a friend of mine went to work for Boeing. Another high school classmate. I don't know if he's still there or not. I haven't talked to him in years.
I don't know. Why do you trust an airplane from a company that makes it sound like it's going to bounce?
You do know the film, right? Boeing.
No,
No.
never heard of it.
That was the title of the film. Let's see. I believe Tony Curtis was one of the people. Let me look it up.
I do remember there was a joke like that with motorcycles, where various motorcycles sounded like their names. Harley, 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 Harley. Like that. Suzuki, like that is one of the jokes. And Boeing came up as a sound effect. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
here we are, 1965. Boeing. Tony Curtis, Jerry Lewis.
Yeah. Well, when you say Boeing, yeah, I always get the sound effect that Mel Blanc did for the Looney Tunes. The boing, boing.
Okay. Oh my! And I do like when Bill Nye talks about his bolt or whatever that particular part was, the one he supposedly personally designed.
I didn't know about that one.
He's mentioned it on a few of the films he's in. The videos. I'm thinking he might have mentioned it in the one where he was on stage with Neil deGrasse Tyson, Krause, Brian Cox. Trying to think of who else was there. There were about 8 people on. Oh, Dawkins was there. Yeah.
I have to admit, whenever I see the title of something and it's like the same word or the same sound repeated once, it always makes me think, oh, this is someone trying way the hell too hard to be artsy fartsy, and it's probably from a foreign country. It's just it triggers some part of my brain that says I won't enjoy this because I encountered way too many things where it's just like, oh, is this that, you know, it just, I don't know, there's something about it that says to me this will be dull.
Well, strangely enough, the film Boeing Boeing was based on a French farce called Boeing Boeing.
It's totally
there you are.
I knew it. It's kind of like how I've noticed that when British people make up like fictional places or fictional characters or something, they tend to follow a certain pattern. Right? Like, for example, I'm pretty sure that Tolkien was British, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very British.
Hobbit is the kind of thing that could only be come up with by a Brit. Kind of like Moppet is another one for a small child.
Yeah.
There's just this consonant vowel, the same consonant twice, and then vowel consonant that seems to come out of Britain a lot. It's just something I've noticed.
Oh, geez. And then you mentioned Moppet, and the first thing that came to my mind was Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter.
Yeah.
Which is another British story, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yes.
I thought so.
There's definitely a certain rhythm, a style to a lot of the names they make up. I don't know why, but that comes up a lot for some reason.
I'd never thought about it, but when you point it out, it's definitely true. And, you know, I suppose it's just you get used to speaking in certain patterns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've noticed, I tend to notice things like that when other people don't, and when I point them out, they're like, huh. Kind of the way, like there's a division between Britain and the United States with plurals. Like British people will say, oh, Microsoft are doing this thing.
Oh, right.
You know, as opposed to Microsoft is. But Microsoft is one company. If they'd said Microsoft employees or Microsoft executives are doing X, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. But Microsoft is one thing. It's not like my family are doing this thing. I have one family that is doing something. Now, if you said my family members are doing something, now we're talking about multiple things.
Well, I think the British implication is that there is the multiple going on. In other words, the implication is that Microsoft are the people who work for Microsoft. Yeah, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a difference.
It's one of those things, like I pointed it out to someone who is British once, and they were like, I never noticed that. It's just,
of course not.
I seem to glom on to linguistic things like that other people just take for granted, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, they grew up with
it. In the U.S., we're treating corporations as being a single entity.
Mm-hmm.
In Britain, they regard a company or a family as being a collective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just one of those things. And I mean, there's others. I'm sure if I think about it, I could remember some of them. But it's just, well, it's like, okay, have you ever watched Babylon 5?
Yes.
No, actually, I didn't.
No.
One thing I've noticed about that show is every last person says either or neither rather than either or neither. And I have to wonder whether J. Michael Straczynski, who was like the mastermind behind the show, insisted. Because I remember once Bruce Boxleitner, who played Captain Sheridan, and he was also Tron, by the way, like once he slipped up. Once it came out either instead of either. And I'm like, that seemed to me to be the revealing moment that one slipped by.
Okay, yeah, I get you. I get where you're coming from.
You know, it's kind of like how every now and then when someone says data instead of data, and some part of me wants to punch them right through the face. And, you know, I think it's similar. I'm sure there's someone out there where either and neither grates on their ears the way either and neither grate on mine. And I don't know.
Okay, well, you know, when I see the spelling, I hear either and neither. The EI, were it to be either and neither. It would be IE, as in, die das, Wiesen, that sort of thing. Yes, I'm thinking German.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, you're speaking of a dot. You're speaking of a datum within a set of data.
Except it's a datum in the set of data. Seriously, when someone says data, I'm like, oh no. It's kind of like when someone says dice instead of die.
Oh my word! That grates on me so hard. Yes, yeah. I threw a dice. No, you didn't.
Well, see, and now knowing that, you can totally empathize with me, I'm sure.
Yeah. I can. I can empathize absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember there was an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where they had Dr. Pulaski, who, like, for a season or two, replaced Dr. Crusher. And by the way, I hated her, but she got into a minor conflict with Commander Data at one point when she called him Commander Data, and he was like, "But my name is Data." And she's like, "Well, I can say it my way, and you can say it yours." And he's like, "But my name is Data."
It's his name, for fuck's sake. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, no, I hated Dr. Pulaski so fucking much. But anyway.
It's like people pronounce my daughter's name wrong all the time because it starts with a U, and you say it you, and people go and it's like, please don't do that.
I'm trying to think of a name that starts with the sound U. Eugene is the only one coming to mind.
But it's not even spelled that way.
Okay, but those all start with E's. I suppose Ursula.
It's sorry. It's like a Germanic or Celtic name, so you need to approach it from that kind of perspective.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what it is. I mean, I suppose you might not want to say so you don't dox your daughter.
Yeah, that's why I'm reluctant to say it on a stream.
Ulysses?
Because it is fairly unique.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it alone.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway.
Unfortunately, I don't do very well speaking Dutch, Purple. I've tried. It's not for lack of trying. But, when I was hanging around Peter more, I was trying to get into some Dutch, and he was trying to get me into some German, because I haven't had anyone to talk to in a long time. Years and years and years and years and years.
I don't know. It's weird is whenever I sort of like try to fake German words, like Fergenschlosser, Fergen. People always think I'm imitating the Swedish chef. I'm like, no, that's supposed to be German.
There you are. I'll tell you one thing I love about German is if you need a word and you don't have it, just throw a whole bunch of other words together to get what you need. That thing that a lot of people sit in front of and they watch these boring presentations like Star Trek or like whatever. That's ein Fernsehapparat.
As opposed to Finnish and Swedish, which have very long specific words for everything, to the point that there are specific exclamation marks that are put over some of the letters to tell you where during the word to inhale, because you cannot say it in one breath.
Yeah, there you go. But, die Ferne is distance. Sehen is to see. Apparat is an apparatus. Throw them together. Fernsehapparat, an apparatus for seeing from the distance. A television.
Really? Because I would have thought telescope.
So would I, yeah. But they gave that name to a television.
Yeah.
Okay. That seems really odd to me, but all right.
Let me look and see what the telescope is, though.
I just remember there was this episode of How I Met Your Mother where like one of Ted's ex-girlfriends was going to marry a German guy, and he was trying to explain the German term they had for like the one or your soulmate or whatever, and it was this long like Schlechen, and I'm like, he said it so fast, and I'm like, that's why I can't say it, is because it went by that quickly. But it was long. It was kind of like that Monty Python sketch. You know the one. Johann Gamble Putty Devon Auschwitz. That one. I can't.
Yep.
I've tried to pronounce it and I can't do it. But yeah.
Well, that's also why in Europe they call it an auto and we call it a car. Both were taken from the German, that it was an automobile car, which was an automatic mobile carriage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was interesting when I finally figured out what Volkswagen meant.
Oh, people's car.
Yeah.
Yeah, Volkswagen.
Well, and then, you know, that video that they have on YouTube of people saying different words in foreign languages, and then they have the one shouty German guy at the end of it, you know, and when he did ambulance, you know, you get the guys going, ambulance, all of that, and then he goes, Krankenwagen, like that.
Yes, absolutely.
And it makes me think that there ought to be a joke of like some Cthulhu-possessed ambulance so they can say, like, release the Krankenwagen.
Yeah. Oh, and are you ready for this? The translation of telescope into German? Das Teleskop.
Oh, jeepers.
There is also a Fernrohr, but I'm not sure what Rohren is, so I'll have to look that up.
Oh, wow, did I mishear you at first? I thought you said Fernrohr.
No. Fern, as in die Ferne, the distance.
Okay. Well, I don't know. One thing that I've thought about doing, I mean, because I'm working on some sci-fi right now, and there's going to be aliens in it, and coming up with alien names is hard. So a lot of what I do is I listen to foreign music and then just bastardize some of the sounds they make. Like I have a whole text file of what 99 Luftballons sounds like in my head.
Oh my, okay.
Because I don't speak a word of German. And so there are some very funny words that pop into my head when I hear that song, and some of them might be turned into alien names.
Okay, then. That sounds very familiar. When I was very young, I heard the song Da sprach der alte Häuptling, which translates as "Thus said the old Indian chief." But what I was hearing, it was a song in German. What I was hearing, I was manufacturing the words for, and it's interesting the words I came up with. Some of them were pretty darn close. Others were like way the hell off.
Oh,
and I'm like, you know,
this would be way too long to post in the chat, but I have that text file open, and wow, I'm looking at it going, this is some crazy ass shit.
Oh my! I found the translation, or at least I think I have one. It's really weird. The other word for telescope is das Fernrohr, which is distance pipe. The Germans, they're so practical. You know?
They say the Germans don't have a sense of humor, but it's so easy to... See, I don't want to say laugh at them because that sounds cruel and mean-spirited, but...
Laugh with?
Well, let's say laugh because of.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, I didn't have that up. Robert, yeah, of course, Robert's German. Yeah, Horus tube, distance tube, yeah. Oh, my.
See, I'm going to put like lens in there somewhere, distance lens or something. I don't know, because distance tube, I could think of ways to make that be something else, like maybe a mortar or something.
Okay. Well, the 8-inch Newtonian that we built in high school did kind of look like a mortar. Sorry,
Purple, you were going to say something.
Oh, I was just thinking that if you could make it on my stream maybe one Wednesday afternoon, it would be interesting to do a discussion about, creating alien names and such.
Okay.
Ooh,
I've been trying to work
hey.
on that a lot for my science fiction of, try and get alien names and just a few alien words, not whole languages, but taking into account the anatomy that, what kind of mouth parts and what kind of throat would they have, so what sounds would they be making?
Well, there is one sci-fi trope that I think needs to go away just because it's been overused, and that is the mid-word apostrophe.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Because they are overused. Like, they're, as much as I love the Orville, there was an episode in season 2, I think it was actually the season 2 premiere, where Bortus was going for a ceremony, going back to Moklis for a Moklan ceremony called the Jaloja. And the way they spelled it, there was an apostrophe in there that in no way affected the way that word would be said if it wasn't there.
Okay.
And I was just like, this is so unnecessary. Kind of the way, watch sci-fi, especially like something like Star Trek, and listen to how many times they use the word must in completely inappropriate ways. Like a normal person would say have to or got to or gotta or any of that stuff. No, they throw must in there. And there was another episode of The Orville where they made fun of another trope in sci-fi language, where like there was this krill alien woman who was disguising herself as a human and had gotten into a romantic relationship with Captain Mercer. And at one point when she revealed herself and she starts speaking in a less human way, he actually looks at her and goes, "I liked you better when you were still using contractions."
Okay.
So, I mean, all of that, like sci-fi linguistic stuff, is something I've given a lot of thought, and trying to figure out how to break free of those tropes and still make it entertaining. And so, alien names, alien words, has definitely been a thing that I've thought about. In fact, I think I showed you guys a while back an alien alphabet I'd come up with. That was based around a sort of star pattern. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I think I do.
I didn't see
Yeah.
that.
So, yeah, that's something I would love to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I need to get going here.
Oh, my.
So,
Oh,
well, it's
bit-
my gaming day, so I just got a text from my sister-in-law that, my brother takes my mom to church on Sunday, and then we start our gaming after that. So they're
And you
back
play
home now, and they're
video
waiting for
Video
me.
games, tabletop RPG, board games.
Tabletop, board games, card games.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm
okay,
probably
before
going to
you
have to.
go, thinking of Wednesdays, would you be doing a stream on Christmas?
Well, I certainly would, because I don't have anything going on Christmas.
Well, you know,
Like I said, I celebrate the solstice, so I'll be up all through the night,
My
for
family
Yule.
is clear across the country right now, and some of it's in Mexico. So I don't really have much I'm doing on Christmas either. If that's when you want to do that stream, I'm available.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a bad idea because I'm not doing crap for Christmas. A lot of us
Okay.
are not.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
have anything specific scheduled for that one, so
Yeah,
we could do that.
Sounds okay with me as far as that goes.
Yay.
Might be a way to feel less lonely.
Yeah, well, I was definitely planning to do a stream. I just didn't have a
See,
topic in mind yet.
that's what I was thinking.
What I would like to be able to do is get screwy YouTube live streaming to work.
Well, I remember last year you did a Christmas stream, and
Yes.
I still have that bottle of Captain Morgan I bought for it.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nutjaw and I did the stream, and we tried to do a simulcast sort of thing, which had its problems.
But no, I will cheerfully do that again too if you wanna.
Yay!
Well,
I hear a cat meowing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
somebody.
Sylvia. Well, you know, we
Somebody's
could certainly do
neglected.
kind of a marathon streaming Christmas Day and just, go from channel to channel. That we could,
That's always an idea. Yeah,
each of us host 2 hours and then move to the next channel.
it sounds good to me. Yeah, keep it to 2 hours because of the if we have to use StreamYard, with them
Yeah.
throttling the hours. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll
well,
see
that's a
if I
plan
can
then.
get you to join in.
yeah.
Yeah, I've
And,
got to get going, so I'll see you all later.
Well, you be good, honey.
See you later.
Talk to you later. Yeah, because I was thinking that might not be a bad idea for me to do is start doing another live stream during the week, have two, and just a matter of figuring out when to do it. I don't know what anybody feels about as far as a day and period of the day. Those of you who are listening in, if you have any ideas on when you would like to see something like that, if you would like to see something like that, please, let me know. Would it be, like Saturday midnight? No, well, that doesn't work too well. But Sunday breakfast, or no, we already have Sunday. Shit like that. Anything. Because I've got to get more stuff out. Oh my word! Sai sister, hi! Yay! Showing up just as we're pulling up to the end of it, right?
I have to admit I'm quite hungry myself, so.
Well, you need the foods, and I need a trip to the little girl's room and another cup of coffee, and I don't need the calories, but I'll probably make some breakfast anyway.
It's probably the cups of coffee that make you need to go to the little girl's room. Isn't caffeine a diuretic?
It sure is.
But apparently, if you drink caffeine enough, the diuretic effect wears off. So, no, it wouldn't necessarily make you go to the bathroom all the time once you're used to metabolizing it.
No, it's just the sheer.
Okay.
It's the sheer volume of fluid. I will drink over a gallon of coffee in a day.
See, you really shouldn't.
I know. I've got to be drinking something because my mouth gets really, really dry. And plain water around here, no, it tastes terrible. It's very hard. It tastes like calcium and iron and things like that. If I have to drink water, I'll put a packet of saccharin in it.
Well, I mean, that's why I've been putting those teaspoons of grape Kool-Aid, it is Kool-Aid, regardless, in my water bottle, just to cut the water taste out.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to tap water, I find it always dries my throat out. It doesn't matter if it's hard or soft. So I end up having to filter everything or getting bottled water.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I'm very, very hungry. I'll catch you later.
Well, thanks for coming by, Kate. I love having you every time, and we'll talk soon and stuff and things. And bon appetit. Oh my! So it's just you and me, kid.
It is.
Oh my! Yeah. As Purple said in the side chat over there.
Sorry, someone's trying to get my attention.
Talking about limiting the time, it's the unfortunate thing that StreamYard has done. And what I'm going to do, no matter what, is sometime this week, I'm going to have at least one more live stream because I want to see to it that I can get the YouTube live streaming to work, for Christ's sake. I don't want to set up the streams at the very last minute, but if I have to, then, well, I couldn't have done that today anyway. I tried, and it wouldn't let me.
Well, the only people I know who have set times are you and Purple. Everyone else seems to come on randomly with live streams. Okay.
Yeah, because my preferred format is live streaming. So schedule a time for it, and I know I should do prepared videos as well. It's been a while since I've done one. I did those videos, when I was setting the place up in here, but I don't know if those really count. Oh my!
But
Oh
we
my!
enjoyed these videos you do.
Oh well, thank you. Seriously, I mean, okay, I have a hard time understanding that there are people who like this stuff. I mean, it would be a case of that you would think of somebody else to watch before you would think of me. But if you guys like looking at me, thank you. Seriously.
You're actually quite a fun person to listen to, Diana.
Oh no.
You are.
Well, I just had to develop that and get to working on ad-libbing it all. Because I have a hard time running solo. I mean, I have you guys around to talk with, to play off of, that sort of thing. That's something that's really wonderful. And you just have sort of like a coffee clutch, if you will, or just coffee with lavender. But I thank you. I really do. I appreciate your appreciation. How's that sound?
That's fine. Sorry.
Oh my God! Look at all those messages in the private chat that I never looked at. Oh well. But seriously, peoples, I love it. I really do. Thank you, every one of you, for coming by, for spending the time, and makes me feel wanted, makes me feel useful. Thank you.
You are wanted. People wouldn't drive 100 miles to see you if you weren't wanted.
I still say he's crazy. He's talking about doing it again. Oh, Lord. We'll see how that goes. And it would be nice. It would be nice if we could make it out to the Faithless Forum and see how that goes and stuff like that. But that's not for a while. Oh, my. So, yeah, why don't we keep your eyes open, kids? As I say, I want to do at least one more of these, try to get the mechanics working and everything else. Because YouTube is really being a shit when it comes to this stuff.
It's because they don't want to pay people for the content they produce. They just want to make money off of people.
There you go. But, okay, and I'm going to say it. Okay, thank all of you who are here. Thank all of you who are not here. And as the little one climbs the box that doesn't have water in it yet, we're working on that too. I will say, and I will say, thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.